各位兄弟姊妹，早晨你哋好。我會講英文先。過後咧，Sister Alice 會幫我讀呢個中文出嚟。OK，so 多謝天公啦嚇，我哋有呢個機會啊嚟參考呢個白書嘅 project 啦。So good morning, brothers and sisters. This is a recap of what we uh, published 20 years ago in the year 2001. A lot of these details come from the presentation made in the year 2001 and the year 2001's anniversary booklet. Okay, with updates and more information as to what we have achieved since the year 2001. Okay, here we go. The need for transcripts. Sanson spoke publicly for at least 7,000 hours. That is an estimate of 6 hours per week from the year 1976 to the year 2000. To completely experience Sanson's teaching, we would need to listen or view Sanson's audio and video recordings continuously for 6 years and 4 months. This is based on 3 hours per day. Assuming that we do complete viewing and listening to every recorded speech, to recall and quote precisely every part of Sanson's speech would be almost impossible. It also takes a long time to search for a particular topic in the raw audio and video format. That is not practical, especially if we need an instant reference for the purpose of preaching and discussion. Furthermore, the audio and video records must be transcribed into a text format in the interest of the hearing impaired community. Therefore, in addition to the recordings, there is a necessity for a reference material. The reference may ideally contain censored speeches and related documents. That reference material may also have qualities such as these. Okay, number one, it should as much as possible equate the real experience of listening and viewing Sanson speaking. That is, we will ultimately retain and use the original audio and video recording as a reference material. Number two, searching for a subject, topic, keyword, time frame, event, and more should be quick and easy. Number three, it should be portable, convenient to carry around, and readily available. Well, in today's case, it is a mobile phone app. It should require little or no learning and easy to use. Number five, it should be non-discriminatory. It can be adapted for the use of the physically impaired or deaf, blind, and possibly be multi-language. It should be secure and cannot be tampered with. For example, blockchain-enabled video security. The 7,000 hours that Sanson spoke is equivalent to a 15,000 page encyclopedia, speaking at 90 words per minute and 2,500 words per page. Well, these are all just statistics and estimates. But because of that huge volume, the multimedia format is more suitable. To organize the content, we must have our own application developed. To meet the above requirements, we should ideally produce our white book as such. It should be cloud-enabled platform. It should have public. It should be a public blockchain that is secured to be tamper-proof, but yet has qualities of a public copyright license encouraging widespread license use. It should be downloadable. You should be able to search across the recordings by text. We should have a cross-referencing system that will allow the user to understand the context of the video. F a preaching-oriented approach to organization of context. How? Well, it has to be attractive nugget-sized content that encourages self-motivated discovery of what is praying to the Creator. Number two, different levels of depth of content. For example, level one, beginner, something that you must know. For example, what, who, when, and where. Level two, how. Level three, why. Why do we do what we do? So different levels of depths of content. So these two, number one and number two, is oriented towards preaching. So we are using Senson's content to organize it in a manner that would help us preach. Okay, then G, the option for self-discovery of topics. So it has to have lots of hyperlinks that can go backwards and forwards to help anyone who come across our content, our white book, to have a journey of self-discovery. H, the option for an organized progression of learning path and goals. So someone who wants to learn the basics of Python Go can do so in, for example, 1 week. And if they want to go deeper, then we can set like a set of progression, a learning path for them to reach there, perhaps in 3 months, and perhaps in 1 year. The white book can assist a person to reach a point to say that, hey, I want to now become a follower. So what else I need to know? So an organized progression of learning path and goals can be set for anybody who wants to become serious about praying to the Creator. Then I, recognition of levels of learning achievement. So when you reach a certain level of understanding of Python Go, then the system should be able to recognize that you have reached that point. So this is how you say, a way to mark what I have learned from the white book. Then J, socially enabled white book, meaning you can use content from any part of the white book to generate interaction among users and organization. That means you can have discussions from individual topics, and they are backlink or hyperlink backwards and forwards towards the white book. Then adapted for disabled users. Actually, we also have to adapt it for multilingual use, right? So then, transcript good enough? There are debates on issues regarding the readability of the transcripts. The below issues have to be addressed systematically and methodically through objective discussions. The issues are namely, how readable are the transcripts to the general public? Can they understand what is being said in the transcripts? If the transcripts are refined, footnotes added, commentary or extracts made, will it be misinterpreted? Or will we have multiple versions of interpretations of a single tape? Then how accurate can the refined versions of Senson's speeches be? Can it be authentic, right? Certainly, if any words are added or omitted from Senson's original transcript, we can no longer call it Senson's speech. On the other hand, the technical, highly accurate transcripts contain ahs, and other exclamations that can only be understood if heard along with the audio and video recordings. So, the type of speeches Senson makes is usually impromptu and off the cuff. During the speech, he often repeats certain phrases that he wants to emphasize. Those repetitions are also presumed to improve the audience absorption of his speeches. Sometimes, very naturally, he thinks aloud, searching for a proper word to use in Mandarin or Cantonese. In return, a volunteer from the audience may shout across the required words. So what's happening here? You have something that is very easy to consume when you are a live audience. But if you were to have this as how you say, a reference material, if you were to turn it into transcript per se, then it may be difficult to understand. So the context and the larger picture of what Sanson is saying is very important, and we need to be able to capture this. All these speech techniques are sometimes difficult to understand when read in the transcript form. In some circumstances, Sanson's speech requires clarification. For example, during our 20th anniversary, he talked about a previously shown multimedia presentation in his Cantonese speech. That part can only be understood if the reader or viewer has seen the presentation, right? Then Sanson's speeches are well tailored for the live audience, but are not suited to be read. This situation creates a necessity to make refined or adapted versions of his speech. Another option is not to make undue refinements to his speeches, but only to make extracts and commentaries of his speeches. However, we do recognize that these efforts carry a significant impact towards the future followers. Thus, we conduct the refinement and commentary writing under the scrutiny of the Council of Elders and area coordinating councillors here, which means uh, we should engage the council, all council members, to go through any refinement made. So the person who make any refinement to Sanson's speeches has to now submit this to the council, and every council member has the responsibility to vet through, uh, to make sure that the refinement do not change the meaning or the context of what Sanson is trying to say. Okay, even as we conduct this effort with extreme caution, we dare not publish it as the only and final edition, which means, when we publish something, we will have to work it out as version 1, version 1.1, version 2, version 2.2, so on and so forth. Therefore, we have decided to print them on a separate booklet to serve only as an opinion gathering tool. Okay, so this was described in the year 2001, and so I'll just carry on reading. Hopefully, we can jumpstart a series of meaningful discussions and feedback on the topic of refinement or commentary and the processing of the transcripts in this booklet. So from the year 2001 to the year 2021, we have had lots of experience in transcribing Sanson's audio videotapes. And we will have to break out into discussion with regards to how a refinement has to be completed with regards to Sanson's audio video transcripts. We would like to stress here that nothing replaces the real experience of listening and viewing the original audio and video recording of Sanson's speeches. Okay, as we carry on, most of the above, what I spoke earlier, are from our 2001 anniversary booklet. So since 2001, how far have we progressed? Through the help of brothers and sisters like Brother Tong Hwa and BUSM Singapore, we managed to digitize many of the audio and video tapes that we have. So, we thank God we have people from BUSM Singapore and Brother Tong Hwa, and quite a few others in Malaysia too, from Malaysia too, who assisted to digitize. That means convert all those analog tapes to digital. Now, are there some of the audio and video tapes that have not been digitized? Perhaps a lot more. I don't know. What happened is we have not indexed, we have not organized all the audio video tapes that we have. Uh, that's one of the hurdles I'll talk about later. So number two, from our 2001 anniversary booklet, many brothers and sisters understood the need for transcripts, and we have progressed a lot since then. Okay, special thanks to the recent effort by Sister Sawan and others. Okay, in Baizen, we got Xiao Feng and and uh, quite a few others, that they farm the works out to. You can clearly see that they understood the need for transcribing all the tapes, right? So, what are the challenges that lay ahead? Deep fakes. So, deep fakes, I would like to ask you to watch this video later when Sister Alice speak, and you will see that they managed to make President Obama make a speech, but it is not him. It was someone else speaking, but you can see that it is called a deep fake. So you can see that with today's technology, you can recreate very real fake videos. So how do we safeguard our videos? The answer is in using the blockchain technology. Okay, there is too much to explain here, but simply said, if all our archived video and audio documents and artifacts are digitized, everything digitized and stored on the blockchain, okay, it would be impossible to create inauthentic fakes. That means people can create fakes, but you can always cross-check to say that, hey, meaning if anyone attempts to create a fake video, as long as the blockchain rejects the video, it means that it is not authentic. So it is fine. It is fine that other people take census video and put words into his mouth. We cannot control that. There is no way we can control the internet, but what we can do is have a cross-referencing system whereby anyone who wants to check, is this authentic? Well, they cross-check against the blockchain, and the blockchain will tell you if it is authentic or not. Okay, archival process. A unified, like I said earlier, a unified indexing and tracking database system. We may uh, we have had many audio and video tapes that are indexed following a system that was set up in 2001. However, since then, some of the digitized version do not follow the system. So we need to unify our efforts to cover all conceivable historical archival items, and they include audio and video tapes, documents, and physical artifacts. Okay, with today's advancement in digital scanning, we can even scan in 3D. Okay, we can scan an artifact like the urn in 3D. And transcribing process. Okay, with today's advancement in speech to text uh, technology combined with the many hours of transcript in our hands, we can teach the software or artificial intelligence to recognize sentence speech. This will significantly speed up the transcript part of the Project Whitebook. Okay, so in summary, Project Whitebook has many components, some of which are not discussed here. We need to resolve two major components. Philosophical component. Remember the issue I said about the clarity and context of the transcript. Uh, well, we need to have deeper discussions to, or on a case by case basis. In any audio and video tape, if there are differences in opinion, differences in interpretation, how do we resolve it? Or we can even leave it as unresolved, but how do we proceed on, right? And then there's a philosophical component. B, technological component. We have reached a stage whereby the entire collection of census audio and video tapes can be saved in a micro SD card. Okay, 1 terabyte micro SD card. Everything can go in, right? So the hurdle is to now create a system. The hurdle is just creating a system that can manage and present the content as an easy point of reference. How? Well, as I said earlier, how we can organize it to help us preach, to help someone progress from 0 to 100, right? Who wants to become a Pai Ting Kong scholar, for example, they can do research projects based on all of Senson's audio video tapes, right? So they can go into, in-depth, like Pai Ting Kong PhD, for example. What do they use? They use Senson's audio video tapes. So basically, we need to present the content, the technological component of our, uh, you know, what we need to do is to have everything organized. Project Whitebook belongs to all of us. Okay, Project Whitebook belongs to all of us. It does not belong to any individual or subgroup of BUSM. There is no competition, right? There's no competition, but open and transparent collaboration. Okay, when we collaborate, we work together, right? We will achieve success together. Okay, with an analytical mind and logical thinking, we can create the white book within a very short time frame because we are there. Everything is available. So thank God.